Don't worry about anything. Here's the antidote. Instead, pray about everything. Don't worry about anything. In other words, what is he saying? The moment it begins to get anxious on you, go find you a corner somewhere and talk to Jesus. Don't call Aunt Sally, who we say is the great prayer warrior. Don't call Facebook. Don't go air your laundry on Facebook. Go get in a corner somewhere and say, Jesus, this is just about overwhelming here. But don't just do that. Take a moment or two to sit in His presence and see what He'd tell you. I had this very thing happen to me last night. Me and BB went to town, and it was not... How many of you have ever went to town and it wasn't a good trip? How many of you spouses or husband and wives, you went to town and you're asking yourself about mid-trip, why did we not stay at home? Now, wasn't it she done something wrong, I done something wrong? That's not even the point. It's just things were not functioning the way they usually function when we go to town. I got back home, and I was about to leave to go to town again. How many of you know that's probably not a wise move? Only this time I was going by myself. At least if I wanted to argue, I had to argue with me. And I went and sat down for a few minutes and had a cup of coffee. And the Holy Spirit changed my mind. What did He tell me? You're getting anxious. You're concerning yourself with things that won't even matter next week, much less next year. Don't worry about anything. Here's the antidote. Pray about everything and listen to what He says. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He's done. And we've done a really good job in the church over the years telling people to tell God what they need, but we've done a pretty poor job in telling them to thank God for what He's done. Now, if you say, even in your spirit right now, I'm not rebuking there's no condemnation in Jesus, but just hear what I'm saying. When I say, and thank God for what He's done, if your tendency is to come back in your mind and in your spirit and say, for what, you will never get to where you need to go with contentment. This is the first step, folks. The moment we say, I don't have nothing to be thankful for, you've just lost all your contentment. You can never get your praise on. There's always something to be thankful for. Always. If you've got kids, you never lack anything to be thankful for. Well, you don't know how they're acting. That don't matter. Do you have them? Okay? If you eat this morning or you're planning on eating today, you got something to be thankful for. And so this is probably the jet fuel, if you will, for everything, every plan, purpose, and destiny we have in our life is to have a heart of gratitude and a heart of thankfulness. It gets more done in our life than anything can ever get done in our life. And I'm challenging you this week, you just every day find something to be thankful for. Because what does the enemy do? He paints this picture for us of all the things that we should be unthankful for. That's how we know it's the enemy. Now here's what will happen when we tell God what we need and then we thank Him for what He's done. Here's what happens. Verse 7. Then you will experience God's peace. How many of you would like to have more God's peace? See, when you think about God's peace, that immediately says, let not your heart be troubled. Don't worry. Is there a system to this? Yeah, it's pretty systematic. It's pretty simple. I didn't say it was easy. It's simple. We thank God. We tell God what we need, even though He knows. This is kind of confessional. When I release what's going on in my heart to God, it gives me a chance to let my heart heal. There's more to it than I can even articulate in words. I just know that it works. When I begin to release all my pain, all my anguish, all my anxiety, all my worry, and just give it to God, then He's able to heal my heart and give me peace. And then I thank Him for what all He's doing in my life.